Vivek Ramaswamy says he would have certified the 2020 election. Here's a clip.
Let me bring up a couple questions you didn't get a chance to answer at the debate. Most of the candidates on stage Wednesday night said Mike Pence did the right thing on January 6th. Do you agree?
I would have done it very differently. I think that there was a historic opportunity that he missed to reunite this country in that window. What I would have said is this is a moment for a true national consensus where there's two elements of what's required for a functioning democracy in America. One is secure elections, and the second is a peaceful transfer of power. When those things come into conflict, that's an opportunity for heroism. Here's what I would have said. We need single-day voting on Election Day. We need paper ballots, and we need government-issued ID matching the voter file. And if we achieve that, then we have achieved victory, and we should not have any further complaints.
I don't know if you can understand, because even where there were validations through paper ballots, there were still issues in some of these places, right? So it's like...
about election integrity.
I'll get into more of that.
I would have driven it through the Senate.
So what would you have done with Mike Pence? You would have not certified the election?
So in my capacity as president of the Senate, I would have led through that level of reform. Then on that condition, certified the election results, served it up to the president, President Trump, then to sign that into law, and on January 7th, declared the re-election campaign pursuant to a free and fair election. I think that was a missed opportunity, but that's the kind of spirit we're going to need to unite this country rather than sweeping those concerns under the rug.
I don't agree with him at all. So he would have said, okay, I would have on January 7th started a re-election campaign pursuant on the new laws. Why? So he's saying he thinks there's shenanigans, but then he thinks there were shenanigans, but then he's just like, okay, I'm just going to push it through anyways. And what if the Democrats didn't want to push it through? What if they were like, no, we don't want to? What is he just going to like do a bluff? And then he's just not going to certify the election based on they can't get those laws on, not about anything else. Yeah, but it's interesting. I just don't know if people like this just didn't do any research in this. But like, let's just start with Michigan. Michigan had during the counting process where people could look into the windows. There was one precinct taped used pizza boxes on the windows. Another one pasted poster board. One precinct said, okay, you guys could go to lunch to the Republicans, and they wouldn't let them back in. And then the people that certify the votes, they got their families threatened, and they only signed the certification because they said, okay, we'll sign it, but we want to do an investigation after. They signed it, and then the other people certifying, they're like, no, we're not doing an investigation. Yeah, so if Mike Pence could have certified, sent it back to that state, right? Back to Michigan and be like, okay, and then those people could have got a chance to revote. And then if they want to certify it again, okay, fair enough. Okay, but then you get the legal challenge. Come back a week later, you get a week to, I think it's a week per law that you have to come back after you go to recertify. But then in Pennsylvania, they wouldn't let poll watchers, Republican poll watchers, they just wouldn't let them into the precincts. Dude calls the sheriff. The sheriff didn't care. It's like, wait, where do you go there? Like, you got to do an investigation into that. And then, of course, Georgia, the hot topic right now, the burst pipe. It was funny. Fani Willis, I covered this yesterday, the prosecutor trying to take out Trump for tweeting about election stuff. She was thinking the burst pipe was for Republicans to cheat. That's what she thought. That's what she wrote on Twitter. Oh, there's a burst pipe. We have to investigate this, which, I mean, fair enough. We should, if some random burst pipe. But then everyone leaves for the night. I'm sure you know this. But they left for the night, and then the Secretary of State of Georgia calls and says, okay, continue counting. And then we have the security of the cases where they're bringing them out of. And I don't know. They're like, okay, that's just what happens. We have some ballots stored in cases. I don't know about that. But why the burst pipe, and why aren't the Republicans called back? Right? And then I think it was Pennsylvania, they said that the poll watchers were so far away from the counting that they couldn't even read any of it. They had to stand like 20 feet away. So, yeah, I don't like this stuff. I mean, could have Joe Biden have won and could it have gotten recertified? Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I don't know. Probably not, but maybe. And then if they would have certified again, it's just, I don't know the legality of it, but I would just, okay, certify again. What are you going to do? Because you do want that peaceful transition of power. But that's what's divided the country so much. When Vivek's like, oh, no, he had a great chance to, bring us back together and everything by changing the vote. What if the left would have got in there in 2022 and just reversed all of that? Like, what's the point? And like I said, you think there were shenanigans because of ID laws and whatever, and then, oh, no, okay, no, we'll just certify it anyways if we get these laws. And one other thing about Michigan I don't want to forget to mention is Crowder's crew, Steven Crowder, Louder with Crowder, his crew went through and looked at addresses that were registered to these people, and the places were empty lots, a lot of these. So it's just like this, it deems investigation. And then, of course, all the voter rolls and all this stuff. I would have sent it back to the states just to really get an investigation. Even if we would have lost, if Trump would have lost, at least it would have highlighted to normal people that don't know all of this stuff, that don't watch Louder with Crowder, highlight what is happening. To an investigation, and then this is what's happening, and at least you can shore up the laws the next time. But when you don't investigate it, you can't even ask questions about it. Trump, he's getting prosecuted for asking questions. His lawyers are getting prosecuted for answering questions. Until a few months ago on YouTube, you couldn't even discuss the elections. Because no. And I think the only reason why they reversed it is because they are prepping for 2024 when they lose. So then they can say election fraud, like Hillary Clinton did and like Stacey Abrams did. Where's their prosecution? And me saying this, a lot of people would be like, oh, this guy's just this crazy Trump guy, Trump supporter. I'm really not. I like Trump. I voted for him in 2020. I didn't vote at all in 2016. But if it was just complicated because I was running a business and I just didn't have time, and I didn't really trust Trump or Clinton, but Trump convinced me over the 4 years. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to vote for him in 2020. But for me, it's like, it's principle. I'm more of like a Dave Smith, like Ron Paul guy personally, but I think Trump would do a good job. I'm probably going to vote for him in 2024, but I'm not like a Trump guy. I'm not like, oh, we needed Trump. It's just principle. And the election fraud is BS. I don't care what side you're on. You should think that. I don't want Republicans to win from cheating. I'm glad that Republicans are getting into ballot harvesting because that is legal and the left does it. So why isn't the right doing it? The thing about the right is their ground game is not good. But we're getting there. Scott Pressler and his allies and stuff, we're like the right is getting there. So that's good. But the left's ground game is usually way crazier. They'll go grind it out. They'll go do ballot harvesting. They'll go canvass. They'll register people to vote. The right doesn't generally do that. But now it's kind of just it's switching. So that is really good. But that's kind of what's needed. And then we again voter ID and stuff like that. Shouldn't that just be a given? Right? You need an ID to do everything, but you don't need an ID to vote in a lot of states. Here in Texas, you need an ID. Every time I go in there, they're like, okay, you where's your ID? So, yeah, it's way better. And then here in Texas, there are electronic systems that you cast your ballot on, but then there's a paper ballot to back it up. That's how every state should be. That should be the standard. And then the country wouldn't even be close to as divided if this was just a given. But it's like the left knows they can't win. It's like the left knows they can't win if they don't have these weird, shady practices. Right? Otherwise, why wouldn't they want it? And again, I just wish Pence would have just thrown it back to the states. Even if Trump would have lost in the long run, it would have given people more opportunity to ask questions. And that's the thing about the left right now. Why can no one ask questions? No one said that about 2016 or 2000, 2004. Right? People on the right, I mean, they might, I don't think so. I was way younger back then. But as far as I remember, people on the right were like, you can't ask questions. People are asking questions all the time. The ballots in the ocean in Florida and stuff. I thought all that was sketch. And I think George Bush only won 2024 probably is because the war, that it is all of his scare tactics and everything. But I don't know. I could be wrong. He might have won. Again, I was younger back then. I was like 12, so 12 to 16. I didn't really pay attention until 2008. So, and then I mentioned I was on a Trump guy. I used to like Obama. I voted for Obama first term. I canvassed for him. But then he said a lot of good stuff, right? He said, we want transparency in government. I don't agree with his policies at all anymore. You know, I was way younger back then. But that's my point. I'm not like a never Trump guy, and I'm not like a hardcore Republican. Like I said, I'm more of a libertarian guy. But to have anything remotely resembling like this country, which, you know, my grunt style shirt, I love America, best country in the world, best country in the history of the world. We need to have fair elections. You can't go and be doing shady stuff. Even if the left wins, the left wins. I think everyone on the right agrees with that. If Biden won under not all these weird, shady circumstances that I just pointed out earlier, it is what it is. What can you do? Your guy can't always win. You know, I wanted Rand Paul in 2016 over Trump, but Trump won. You know, I wasn't crying about it. It's like, okay, whatever. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe for daily news updates, smash that like button, share this video with your friends, and share your thoughts on the story in the comments below. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.